It's funny, actually. So my very first pair, it was kind of like a trend going around because back in the pandemic there wasn't much to do other than like watch YouTube or like just hang out with your family and whatever. But back when in 2020 it was kind of a trend going around, so the first place I ever saw it was on YouTube. And a guy had taken a bunch of paint markers and like drawn all over these Air Forces, and I was kind of like, I could do that. So I begged my dad and he took me to the paint store. And the first pair I ever did was actually a pair of Converse for my little brother. And they were cool. I've never posted them. They were like Chinese dragons wrapped all around it, and they had like my name signed across the toe. I didn't know what I was doing back then. I was just like, I did this. I'm proud of this. And so I did those for him. And then I didn't even have social media at the time, and it was actually, I think it was my mom, she posted them on Facebook, and I started doing them for like my neighbors. People were interested in it in my neighborhood, and then I finally got an Instagram, and I started building clientele that way. It's all really organic, my growth. I really try and make a connection with pretty much everybody that I work for and work with, because that's something that's so important to me in my business, is to just keep it with the people and meet everybody. And then after that, my first big client, I did an Olympian back in, I think it was the 2021 Olympics. It was Michaela Skinner. And she's the Olympic gymnast that took over for Simone Biles when she had to kind of take a break. So I did her because she lives out in Gilbert, and I got to meet her, and I delivered them in hand to her and got like pictures with her, and she was so sweet, and we're still like good friends, and I just love her. And then after that, it exploded, and after that, I think is when I really started doing cleats. My first really big cleat pair would probably be Bradley Bozeman. I did him for My Cleats, My Cause. That was my very first My Cleats, My Cause, and after that, it kind of just blew up.
How do you get this person reaching out to you? Did they just stumble across, kind of like I did, and been like, hey, I see what you've done, I want you to do my cleats? Or did you reach out to people to say like, hey, I do this, I would love to do a pair of cleats for you?
So with Bradley specifically, I actually came across, he had posted on like Twitter, because I didn't even know what My Cleats, My Cause was at the time. He had posted on Twitter that he was in search of an artist who does cleats. Because usually what's really cool about some of these NFL players is a lot of them for My Cleats, My Cause don't need to find someone to do it for them. The NFL will hire someone and they'll do like 100 pairs for like a bunch of different teams. They're not usually as personalized, and they just like whip them all out and hand them off to the players for them to have them for this specific game. But what's really cool about Bradley is he really didn't need to find an artist, but he wanted to support a small business. And he was actually looking for somebody local, because he was playing for the Ravens at the time, so they lived in, I believe it was Baltimore. So I reached out. I think I made a Twitter account and reached out, and I was like, hey, I do this. Like, I'm an artist. I would love to help you. And he was like, you know what? What the heck? He's like, I'll send you a pair. He reached out, and it was awesome. It was surreal, really. And he's just, I love the Bosemans. They're great. I've kind of followed them around as they've moved to the Carolina Panthers, and they're just the sweetest people ever. And I've done his for 3 years in a row, and we still are just great friends. Their family's awesome.
And then how's the next pair come about? So you get the Bosemans, and you're doing theirs for Baltimore and following him around. When does the next pair happen?
Uh-huh. After that, pretty much, I mean, it used to be, oh yeah, I did the Miami Dolphins too. That was my Cleats, My Cause that I did. I try and add like one more person each year as I keep growing. But I mean, after the Bosemans, we used to really like reach out to people, but I would say recently, I mean, people have been reaching out left and right. We're a White Sox player reached out for spring training. A bunch of people are reaching out for spring training since it's kind of in my backyard, so they're all really close. So they'll just be like, just come, I'll leave you tickets, come drop them off at our game. And so that's happening a lot recently.